Good morning, distinguished guests. Band, please continue. This is just a housekeeping matter to inform our distinguished guests that the Honorable Chief Justice is now arriving at this very auspicious venue. She will inspect a quarter guard and will be received by the judges. She will then perform a ceremonial briefing with the leadership of the judiciary, presiding principal judges, and then we will start the ceremony occasion. May we be upstanding to honor the entrance of the Chief Justice? Thank you very much. We will be entertained by the band as we wait for the formation of the ceremonial procession. Thank you very much. Please have your seats. Thank you. Thank you.
Kazi na konda. Vile Mungu wa stima na
kupiga shot zipi? Kupiga shot zipi? Na bado sijaanza kazi. Nimeanza kuona future. Sijaanza kazi.
Waduka. Hapo sana. Kama artist kidogo.
Is brought into this hall. At that time, I will request that you be upstanding to honor that moment. Usually, processions have ceremonial significance. They are not simply a means of getting from one place to another. The music, the costume, and the presentation of the maize will be quite significant and will signal the commencement of a ceremonial bit of these proceedings. The music is conducted by the prison's band. You can see the procession and the judiciary maze, which is borne by the acting registrar of the High Court, Honorable Pauline Mbulika. may I request that you all be upstanding as the mace is presented as a mark of judicial authority. The mace is a symbol of judicial authority, and the honorable judges are also donning their ceremonial robes. The judiciary mace has the coat of arms and the judiciary logo, signifying that the judiciary is indeed one of the co-equal arms of government. Thank you very much. May I request you to remain upstanding as the prison band leads us through the national anthem and the East Africa anthem. Thank you very much. You may kindly take your seats. Honorable Justice Martha Koome, Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Honorable Justice Daniel Musinga, President of the Court of Appeal. Judges of the Court of Appeal present. Outgoing Principal Judge of the High Court and now Judge of Appeal, Honorable Lady Justice Lydia Chode. Principal Judge-elect of the High Court, Honorable Justice Eric Ogola. Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, Honorable Lady Justice Maureen Onyango. Presiding Judge of the Environment and Land Court, Honorable Justice Oscar Ngote. All presiding judges are present. All judges of the High Court, the Environment and Land Court, the Employment and Labor Relations Court, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Honorable Anna Madi, representatives from the Office of the Honorable Attorney General, representative from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, representative from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and representatives of all the direct stakeholders and the justice actors, President of the Law Society of Kenya, and Vice President of the Law Society of Kenya, all LSK Council members present, and chairpersons of the various Law Society chapters present, President of the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association, the Acting Registrar of the High Court, and all registrars of Superior Courts, Magistrates Court, and tribunals present, all judicial officers present, directors of the various directorates in the judiciary, judicial staff present, our very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this installation ceremony of the Principal Judge of the High Court. The office of Principal Judge is a constitutional office established under Article 165(2) of the Constitution and Section 6 of the High Court Organization and Administration Act, which details the functions of the office, among other important operational aspects guiding the office. To kick off this ceremonial celebrations, allow me to invite Pastor Samuel Makori and the Deputy Chief Qadi, Honorable Abdul Halim Hussein Athman, to open with prayers. Please come to the podium so that we can use a microphone. Thank you very much.
Shall we pray? Kind, loving, Almighty Father, we are here before you this morning to celebrate the wonders and the miracles, Lord, that you performed in the lives of your children. Father, we want to invite your presence to be in our midst. Almighty God, we want to call upon you because without you, we can do absolutely nothing. Father, in this great installation of your manservant, we pray that may the presence of heaven be in our midst. Father, we are praying that may this our country, this great nation of Kenya, beginning with the executive, the judiciary and the legislature, that all of us, Lord, the rule of justice may be seen, not only seen, but be practiced. Lord, I pray that may we never, ever play the fairness, but we play the justice. We thank you, Almighty God, because you have ordained this occasion for your manservant, Honorable Justice Eric. Lord, we pray that may you touch your manservant, cover him. All the dignitaries that, Lord, have come to witness this occasion, Almighty Father, may you cover them. Cover this nation of Kenya, beginning from the President to all of us and the citizens, that we may continue to enjoy justice being practiced and being done to all of us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much for that very, very wonderful prayer. Thank you, protocol team. Thank you. Thank you very much. May I now welcome Honorable Hussein Athman? Okay. I'm told that he's still on his way. So we thank you for that opening prayer. I will now welcome the Judiciary Choir to open with an entertainment piece of 2 songs. Judiciary Choir, you're welcome. The Judiciary Choir is the next big thing in this country. Distinguished and very, very dedicated staff of the judiciary who have added color and commitment through music to this institution. They debuted their performance during the Judiciary Prayer Day, and since then we really wish and always ask to hear them present their pieces to us. I hope that you will all find them as gracious and as powerful as we all do. Enjoy.
Zinatenda kazi mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu zatenda kazi. Zinatenda kazi mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu zatenda kazi. Zatenda kazi, zatenda kazi. Zinatenda kazi mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu zatenda kazi. Zatenda kazi, zatenda kazi. Zinatenda kazi mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu zatenda kazi. Tunajivunia mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu twajivunia. Tunajivunia mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu twajivunia. Twajivunia, twajivunia. Tunajivunia mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu twajivunia. Twajivunia, twajivunia. Tunajivunia mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu twajivunia. Tunazipenda mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu tunazipenda. Tunazipenda mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu tunazipenda. Tunazipenda, tunazipenda. Tunazipenda mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu tunazipenda. Tunazipenda, tunazipenda. Tunazipenda mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu tunazipenda. Tunafurahia mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu twafurahia. Tunafurahia mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu twafurahia. Twafurahia, twafurahia. Tunafurahia mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu twafurahia. Twafurahia, twafurahia. Tunafurahia mahakama zetu Kenya, mahakama zetu twafurahia. Heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu kwa kazi njema tunayoifanya. Heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu kwa kazi njema tunayoifanya.
Mahakama zetu Kenya twazingatia uadilifu na uwajibikaji. Mahakama zetu Kenya twazingatia uadilifu na uwajibikaji. Heko
Heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu kwa kazi njema tunayoifanya. Heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu kwa kazi njema tunayoifanya.
mahakama zetu Kenya twazingatia utenda kazi na maadili mema. Mahakama zetu Kenya twazingatia utenda kazi na maadili mema. Heko
Heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu kwa kazi njema tunayoifanya. Heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu, heko kwa mahakama zetu kwa kazi njema tunayoifanya.
kwa uongozi bora wa Jaji Mkuu Martha Koome twakupongeza. Kwa uongozi bora wa Jaji Mkuu Martha Koome twakupongeza. Heko
Heko kwa kiongozi wetu, heko kwa kiongozi wetu, heko kwa kiongozi wetu kwa kazi njema unayoifanya. Heko kwa kiongozi wetu, heko kwa kiongozi wetu, heko kwa kiongozi wetu kwa kazi njema unayoifanya. Heko kwa kiongozi wetu, heko kwa kiongozi wetu, heko kwa kiongozi wetu kwa kazi njema unayoifanya. Heko kwa kiongozi wetu, heko kwa kiongozi wetu, heko kwa kiongozi wetu kwa kazi njema unayoifanya.
Asanteni sana Judiciary Choir ikiongozwa na Quintus who works in the criminal division at Milimani. You can see they are donning the judiciary gold on the neck piece to just really signify the gold standards that are continually being set in the judiciary in terms of access to justice. We will now get into the next part of the introductory speeches, and I will invite Honorable Pauline Bulika, who's the acting registrar of the High Court, to deliver welcome remarks. Honorable Bulika, karibu.
The Honorable Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court and the distinguished guests, allow me to adopt the laid protocols by the Chief of Staff, Rose Washuka. Good morning. The office of the Principal Judge of the High Court is established under Article 165, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution. The responsibility thereof is outlined under Section 6, subsection 1 of the High Court Organization and Administrative Act, number 27 of 2015. The responsibilities shall be to the Chief Justice for the overall administration and management of the court, ensuring the orderly and prompt conduct of business of the court, the constitution of benches of 2 or more judges in consultation with the Chief Justice, and undertaking of such duties as may be assigned by the Chief Justice. Our distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this installation ceremony of Honorable Mr. Justice Eric Kennedy Okumu Ogola as the Principal Judge of the High Court. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mbulika, for setting the stage for this very auspicious ceremony. The Law Society of Kenya continues to be a critical part of our work as the judiciary, and we are always truly honored because indeed we have seen the commitment of the President of the Law Society in partnering and collaborating with us in all the aspects of our work. Mr. President, I welcome you to speak to this auspicious gathering. Thank you.
The Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya and the President of the Supreme Court, allow me to adopt the protocols that have been well laid out by Honorable Ashuka. May I take this opportunity to greet all of you. Good morning. Well, you may not know, I think it's only Judge Mchelule who knows this, that I grew up for a significant part of my life in Western, and in that side of town, we say hi to people so many times. So I did pick some of those habits, and the Vice President will confirm that I'm also a consummate consumer of tea. Distinguished friends and colleagues, today we assemble here to mark one of those moments of passage and possibly renewal that keeps the judiciary alive and strong. We are all aware that the judiciary in this country is our last line of defense. And so we have a responsibility and a duty at all times to support the judiciary in its various activities to ensure that we have a judiciary that is well functioning, a judiciary that is independent, and a judiciary that is also accountable in terms of the exercise of judicial power. So in marking this moment of transition, allow me to begin my comments by congratulating all the judges of the High Court that found it fit to appoint the Honorable Judge Eric Kennedy Okumu Ogola as the principal judge. When I was looking at his name, I was wondering whether at the point of his naming, there was some sort of crisis, because it is not common to have somebody being called Eric and also being called Kennedy. So there may have been a BBI moment, and there was a settlement to that effect. Secondly, may I then take this opportunity to congratulate
the principal judge on your appointment. And on behalf of the membership of the Law Society, we want to pledge that we will give you all the support that you need and will collaborate with you to ensure that the vision which you bring to office is actualized. Third, allow me to congratulate the Honorable Lydia Chode, now Judge of the Court of Appeal, and formerly Principal Judge. Judge, you did work very, very well with you. At that time, I was chair of Nairobi branch, during very difficult period, because that was the onset of COVID, and we were all confused as to what we would want to do. I still remember Jackie Jan Mohammed complaining when some of our younger members were saying that the courts should be opened up. And she was saying, you know what, we are a little bit old and vulnerable. Jackie, I hope that was not just hot air then. I had to do that because she asked me to find an opportunity to Judge, Principal Judge, we just want to say that we really appreciate the workings that we had with you. I also want to recognize the very close collaboration we had with the outgoing Registrar of the High Court, the Honorable Mange, now Judge of the ELC. Congratulate you for your appointment and for the good work that you did when you were at the High Court. Principal Judge, you come into office perhaps at a very difficult time in the life of the High Court. The number of judges has significantly reduced, partly because of the very good work that the judges have done, leading to their elevation to the Court of Appeal. And of course, also we know to the historical challenges that the judiciary has had with the executive. And so therefore, meaning that recruitments could not be carried out as perhaps we would have wanted. Every day, and my members will bear me witness, we have complaints about cases not going on, severe shortages. We have one judge probably serving Kisumu, Nyamira, and so many other places. So we appreciate the work that the judges continue to do under extremely difficult circumstances. We do not take for granted the sacrifices that you are making to ensure that the wheels of justice do not grind to a halt. But we would also, and this is a call that we have made and that we'll continue to make, would also call on the Judicial Service Commission to really look at the High Court and increase the number of judges, find ways to increase the number of judges. And this is something which we are also talking to our colleagues, those that have been elected to Parliament, those that are in the executive, and we are hoping that because we have about 6 members of the legal profession who have been proposed for appointment to the cabinet, and we will use those members as well as the members in Parliament to try and push for allocation, and we know that the President has given that commitment, but we really need to ensure that we can get the High Court running as smoothly as it possibly can. And Principal Judge, I just want to assure you that you have our support, unwavering support, towards ensuring that we get the High Court working. We know we're going to have challenges, but we are going to work with you to to ensure that for the time being, in the short term and in the long term, we are able to keep the wheels of justice rolling. Finally, my lady, the Chief Justice, allow me to congratulate you and all the judges for the work that you keep doing for us. We appreciate the fact that we are able, at a very short notice, to see you or to see any of the other leadership in the judiciary, and we do not take that for granted, and we hope that we can continue in that way and ensure that we build a properly functioning and accountable judiciary. Principal Judge, I wish you the very best. May God go before you, and may your service to this country be a glory to God. Asante sana.
Thank you very much for those very optimistic remarks. Indeed, we now have a critical mass. The legal fraternity has a critical mass in the cabinet and a champion to really ensure that we continue to pursue access to justice as mandated by the Constitution. Up next, allow me to invite Madam Jacinta Nyomosi, who is representing the Director of Public Prosecutions and who also is a core stakeholder in our work to deliver justice for Kenyans. Madam Jacinta, karibu.
Good morning, Honorable the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Allow me to greet you and also give apologies of Mr. Nurdin Haji, the DPP who would have personally wanted to be here. He has sent me, and I think I will read his remarks. But before I can be able to read his remarks, we as the council who appear before these honorable courts, we wish as the ODPP fraternity to congratulate Honorable Justice Ogola for this wonderful day. Thank you so much, and allow me to read the remarks of Mr. Nurdin Haji. Good morning. It gives me great pleasure to be here today for the swearing in of the assumption of the Honorable Justice Eric Ogola as the Principal Judge of the High Court of Kenya. I would like to respectfully commend you for a well-deserved achievement and confirm that it is indeed an inspiration to us all. Having been admitted to the role of advocates in the year 1992 and thereafter had a diverse legal career, your contributions to the legal profession as a private practitioner, judicial officer, and academic has been a change agent for democracy and human rights in our country. Accurately, Kenya is indeed in need of transformative leaders who can consistently defend our constitution and protect the reforms that we have made so far. Beyond doubt, your commitment to the rule of law and your dedication to preservation of our constitution led to your recognition by the Mombasa Law Society as a celebrated beacon of judicial virtue. This is a distinguished acknowledgement of your noble judicial service. As you assume your role as the Principal Judge of the High Court of Kenya, I reflect on the high powers that your office wields and its widespread reaching supervisory jurisdiction across our 47 counties. I thus place high importance on the significance for the consistent collaboration and cooperation between the judiciary and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions through the NCAJ. This is because as justice actors, we are part of the justice chain, and thus the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. Great things are rarely done by one person, but they are often done by a team of dedicated and diligent people. We are all hopefully represented in the latter category. Therefore, as we each execute our independent and distinct mandates efficiently and effectively, I'm certain that we shall be able to offer quality services to Kenyans and swiftly tackle the delays in the delivery of justice. Indeed, we can have all the cases in the subordinate and high courts fittingly expedited. We should build on the existing foundation that has been laid through the linking of our case management systems, recognizing that this is an inspirational milestone in our partnership. It is in this vein that we may work together and build on the progress and the annual criminal appeals week to further unclog the system and advance ends of justice. To complement access to justice, I propose that we expand our communication channels by going out to the communities, listening to their challenges, collectively and developing remedial actions. The NCAJ, CUCs, and multi-agency forums that we have give us an opportunity to meet and know our customers. In addition to all this, your contribution in the maritime space is and will continually be directly influential in combating transnational crimes on the sea and beyond. With focused interagency networking interplay, we shall be able to combat crimes that threaten the security and development of our country. With regards to human rights, our office continues to develop policies that enhance democracy and protect vulnerable persons in our community. For example, the Standard Operating Procedures Manual and Rapid Reference Guide for Prosecution of Female Genital Mutilation Cases. This is a tool that enriches the prosecution of cultural practices that infringe on the Bill of Rights. It is our view that our cultural diversity should be richly celebrated, even as we prohibit that any harmful practices against our children, women, and men alike. Your role as principal judge will consequently be instrumental in expediting human rights cases across all subordinate and high court divisions. Once again, we as the office of the DPP and the family of ODPP, we congratulate you for a great achievement and look forward to partnering with you on the ongoing journey and making justice our shield and defender. God bless you. Mr. Nurdin Haji, DPP Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that wonderful message of partnership and collaboration. Indeed, the takeaway has been our continued quest to deepen court users and to deepen that engagement with our clients who are the people of Kenya, but also support and regard for vulnerable communities and the most marginalized, which has been a core focus of the justice actors at the NCAJ, where the Honorable DPP deputizes the Chief Justice. Up next is also another anchor member of the justice sector, represented by Mr. Charles Mutinda for the Honorable Attorney General. Karibu sana.
Madam Honorable Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, judges present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I greet you. Good morning. As you have heard, my name is Charles Mutinda, and I am here to represent the Honorable the Attorney General, who would have loved to be present before you on this occasion. But he couldn't make it, and he has sent me. Please accept his apologies. Do you accept? Let me get into the real issues of today. Honorable Chief Justice, members of the judiciary, today is a great constitutional and legal moment that we assemble here on these grounds of the Milimani Law Courts to install the principal judge of the High Court. We at the Office of the Attorney General and Department of Justice commend the judges of the High Court on the election of the principal judge and extend our congratulations to the principal judge-elect, the Honorable Justice Eric Ogola. We've just listened to the restatement of the functions of the Office of the Principal Judge, as was set out by the protocol team. And on my own part, I can say, as one who has practiced before Justice Ogola while he was here at Milimani Law Courts, before he went to Mombasa, we have no doubt at the AG's office that the incoming principal judge will ably discharge the functions of the office and build on the successes so far achieved for the better administration of justice and improved service delivery to the Kenyans. We have been told that the issues of marginalized communities, vulnerable persons in the Kenyan country, and access to justice, these have been core issues which, Madam Chief Justice, you've been pursuing on the strategic interventions by the judiciary. And I'm sure the incoming principal judge will build on those. Madam Chief Justice, members of the judiciary, we at the Office of the Attorney General and Department of Justice assure the incoming principal judge of our support as he embarks on the functions and responsibilities of the office. As I conclude, let me appreciate the outgoing Principal Judge Emeritus, Lady Justice Lydia Achode, for her stewardship of the High Court, and wish her best at the Court of Appeal, where now she is. I thank you all for listening, and we wish you all the best, Principal Judge-elect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mutinda, for yet again a deep message of continued support and collaboration in our collective quest to support access to justice for all. Up next, allow me to invite the President of the Kenya Judges and Magistrates Association, Honorable Derek Kuto, to deliver his remarks.
The Honorable the Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya, I wish to adopt the protocol as laid by my predecessors in this place. Now the choir was here, and allow me to quote what they said, the Mahakama Choir. Heko kwa kiongozi wetu kwa kazi njema unayofanya. Those are not my words, but I adopt those words of the choir, and I thank the Honorable, the Chief Justice, for your leadership to the institution of the judiciary and the Kenyan nation as a whole. We are on our home ground, and when you're on your ground, then you should praise one of your own. Chief Justice, we thank you so much for the leadership that you offer, not just as the President of the Supreme Court, but also in many other roles that you have been granted by the Constitution and by the statute. Allow me this time on behalf of the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association to congratulate Honorable Justice Ogola on your being elected as the principal judge of the High Court. The faith that your colleagues have in you shows that you are a person of service and that they have a lot of confidence in you, and we believe that you will not disappoint them, you will not disappoint this nation, you will serve with diligence. Judge Ogola is also a good friend of mine, and I'm highly privileged to call you a principal judge today. Allow me in the same breath to appreciate the outgoing judge, principal judge, also a good friend of mine, and now a judge of appeal, Judge Achode, for your service to the judiciary and to the nation. I want to thank all the judges and all the magistrates, all the cadis and all the registrars for what you continue to serve, what you continue to do on a daily basis. Not every day people will appreciate you, but please, the association, thank you so much and appreciates you for everything that you do. Also, in a special way, please allow me also to thank the Honorable, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, for what she does on a day-to-day basis to support the Chief Justice and to support the administration of justice. And thank you also, the President of the Law Society of Kenya and all our partners in the administration of justice. The Association of Judges and Magistrates will continue working closely with everyone for the independence of the judiciary and for the promotion of the rule of law. Now, this day was not meant for long speeches. It was for the installation of the principal judge. And I want once again to congratulate Judge Ogola, and I wish you well as you set forth to serve not just the judges of the High Court, but the entire judiciary. God bless you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kuto, for restating what we hold so dear, and that is the welfare of our judges and magistrates, so that collectively we can support the Honorable Chief Justice to lead this institution with a team of supported judges, magistrates, and judiciary staff. Honorable Chief Justice, with humility and great honor, allow me to hand over the program now to Honorable Justice Dr. Joseph Surgon to lead us in the ceremonial session of these proceedings. My Lord.
Honorable Chief Justice, and all protocols observed. At this stage, I wish to take the opportunity to invite the Honorable Lady Justice Lydia Achode to make a valedictory address to the outgoing. Thank you.
The Honorable Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, allow me to adopt the protocols that have gone before to save on time. My lady, as you know, this process was supposed to be in the afternoon, and we were in Nakuru going on with our course list there. So when I was called, we have traveled late, so we have not done, what are they called, dry runs. So if you see us looking at each other there was no dry run. We were arriving in the night and arriving in the morning to start doing these things because we thought we had a whole morning. So I come from that place where the chairman said he was taught to greet many times, so I should also greet you again. Good morning. Okay. Your Ladyship, Chief Justice, and my colleagues, our guests today, the words of Jim Rohn come to mind. The challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, to be kind but not weak, to be bold but not be a bully, to be thoughtful but not lazy, be humble but not timid, be proud but not arrogant, have humor without folly. Rosalind Carter adds, a leader takes people where they want to go, but a great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but they ought to go.
Today, the curtain falls on my tenure as the principal judge of the High Court. I am confident that we may not be where we ought to be, but we are headed where we ought to be. Because it's a journey. It's not something we wake up one day and we arrive there. I must say I feel very privileged to have been given the opportunity to serve the High Court as the principal judge in the last 4 years. It has been indeed a very gratifying and cherishable period. However, I must acknowledge that I could not have done this without the pillars of support that I had. If we look like we have done well because we were working under very, very constrained circumstances, if we look like we have done well, it's because I stood on the shoulders of giants. And to them, this success will be attributed. I particularly wish to thank you, my Lady Chief Justice, with your transformative vision of leadership and your guidance every day. You have continued to give guidance to me as the principal judge since you took office. Your vision of shared leadership especially. Every time we'd pick one thing from you, our heads go into overdrive with the then RHC. I've told her it will take her time for her to know in her mind that she's not an RHC anymore. When we come here and she's also supposed to be being shown where to sit, she's the one running around trying to show people where to sit. That happened to me when I left there, and Mr. President, it will happen to me in the Court of Appeal for some time until I realize I'm supposed to be the one being given the chair, not looking for chairs for the others. But I thank you, my lady, because your vision of shared leadership gave us very good ideas of what to do so that we are not struggling alone at the principal judge's office, because all these judges, each of them has been very supportive in what we have achieved because of that vision of shared leadership. My brothers and sister judges, it was you who elected me into the office. I really thank you that you looked at me and saw that I could actually lead you. Used to look back and say, there are such great minds here, there are such great leaders, people of wisdom, people of many years of service, and yet you chose me. I don't take that for granted. I really, really thank you that you honored me that much. I want to acknowledge the support that you have made, that you have given for us to achieve what we have achieved in the few years that we have been in that office. You are all hardworking, unflinching, and you are dedicated so that we could be able to move toward the dispensation of justice in the way in which we wanted. Your commitment has helped us to continue discharging our mandate, and I therefore applaud you. Our success rests on the contribution that you have all made. You are always ready to take on additional tasks. Some of you say I threaten you, but I wish Professor Ngugi was here. Every time I call him to help me with something, he says, are you still going to tell the chief to take me to Ayabay? Because if I don't help, I said yes. So now when I became judge of appeal, he told me, now I can rest. Hakuna mahali utanipeleka. But you have been so helpful that I can call a judge and say, I need your input into this. And on top of what else they are doing, they would actually come and help. I don't take that for granted. I also wish to thank you most sincerely, Chief Registrar, for always being a listening ear and for always trying to make us, helping us to do the impossible, because usually we are working with so little. And when you don't even have it, you go out to look for it to enable us to carry out our programs. And special thanks go to Emeritus Registrar of the ELC. I think the High Court is really going to miss you now, Judge. Judge, your selfless service is unmatched. Congratulations on your elevation to the judgeship. The ELC will undoubtedly benefit from your immense administrative skills. And I was just telling the presiding judge, Angote, that I think there was some rigging in making sure that she remains in Nairobi so that she can help to reorganize them. But she really, really is helpful in that area. To the deputy registrars across the country, all High Court staff, the staff in the ORHC, and my exceptional staff in the OPJ, thank you so much, all of you. You are the engine that runs the High Court. I thank you most sincerely for your support, for the time that I've been there, for your dedication and your commitment to service. I also wish to thank the stakeholders. We have not done this alone. My lady, as you've heard the chair of LSK say, a lot of these things would put our heads together with them because they are the consumers of the justice that we dispense. So from this side, we might think that something is working, but without consulting them, they are the ones who tell us where the problem is, then we now work towards fixing that problem. Honorable Chief Justice, in your blueprint of social transformation through access to justice, you have encapsulated, that word, guiding principles as accessibility and efficiency, transparency and accountability, inclusiveness, shared leadership, cooperative dialogue, and social justice. This is what we were looking at with all the programs that we tried to come up with. In the spirit of inclusiveness and shared leadership in our endeavor to be transparent and accountable to Kenyans, we continued to engage in cooperative dialogue with the stakeholders through our court user committees and our bar benches. As the leadership of the court, we are cognizant of the fact that the administration of justice encompasses greater collaboration and partnerships, and without consensus in the manner in which we operate, the ends of justice cannot be met. Therefore, I wish to thank most sincerely all the stakeholders. Some are here like the LSK, the ODPP, and the AG, but some may not even be here, like the EACC. I don't know if they're here. People that have really stood with us, helping to think through what we want to implement. Honorable Chief Justice, ladies and gentlemen, 4 years ago I was elected by the judges of the High Court to serve as a principal judge. It was a privilege and an honor. I wish to sincerely thank the High Court for giving me that opportunity, but before I say what else we have done, it would be remiss of me not to mention my predecessors, PJ Emeritus the first and PJ Emeritus the second. You know, we Africans, we like titles. So when I'm out of office now, because I'm not PJ, I must add something so that I remain PJ something. So we have PJ Emeritus the first, who is Msaga Mbogoli, Court of Appeal, now retired, and PJ Emeritus the second, Richard Mongo, Justice Richard Mongo, who is here. PJ Emeritus the first, Mbogoli, developed the High Court organization and administration rules, and PJ Emeritus the second, Justice Richard Mongo, oversaw the development of the High Court Organization and Administrations Act. So we are all building on to what somebody else has left. You are not starting from scratch. The court I took over had also distinguished itself in designing and crafting a roadmap for implementation of court annexed mediation, and was leading registry reform initiatives such as the e-diary, my lady. The court had also commenced the journey to reduce case backlog. I therefore acknowledge the efforts of the emeritus before me. So fast forward to today, I can confidently say that building on the very solid foundation that they laid, I have, with the help of my colleagues in the High Court, taken this court to the next level. We did not drop the ball. Court annexed mediation is now fully entrenched. It was a vision of Emeritus Mongo, but we implemented it, and it's now fully fledged around the High Courts in the country. Service weeks also, they have worked. You will remember, my lady, that you gave me instructions just as recently as August, when I was already in the Court of Appeal, to carry out a family service week, which we did, and out of this, 157 cases were referred to mediation, and we are hoping for a good outcome of that. In matters of the registry, significant progress has been made towards the full automation of the registry. It can only get better. Regarding our core business, which is hearing and determination of cases, it cannot be gainsaid that the High Court has a heavy caseload. My lady, you know that in the superior courts, there is none that has as heavy a load per an officer as the High Court has. The last time I checked, it was 1,500 cases per judge, but that may have even increased now that a few of us have moved out, so we have to redo the mathematics again. This is the heaviest load of any of the superior courts. I know that I had already written the year before, and when you came in, one of my first businesses with you, my lady, was to make that plea that you need to advertise, and that thank God that you already advertised, you already maybe even going to interview soon, because you really need judges in the High Court if we are to continue with the trajectory and the momentum that we had gathered. Because when the High Court was doing very well and the numbers were coming down, we were almost 100, we were at 90 something. Now we are just about 62, I think. They are just about 62, so the number is going down, but the filings are going up. In spite of the heavy burden, the court has consistently reduced backlog. The initial figures were 172,000. We can round it up to 173,000 cases in 2012. Consistently, they have come down. Right now, they stand at 81,000 cases. I think, High Court, you can clap yourself if nobody will clap for you, because that is more than half. We have more than halved what we had, but there was a bit of stagnation and even slight climbing, a reduction in the manner in which it was coming down in the 2 years of COVID. We were hit hard. The year 2019 to 2020 and the year 2020-2021, there was a hiatus. We were not performing so well. But in the last year, the judges have really picked up. And the last time I checked, my lady, the clearance rate was at 110. That means they are not only clearing what's coming in, but clearing plus eating into the backlog. So they have really worked, my lady. The court also registered the highest, very high productivity rate per judge. A judge clearing 299 cases, that is the average around across the courts. Even as we celebrated our performance, we realized as a court that the rules of engagement had changed insofar as managing cases is concerned. In collaboration with the Law Society of Kenya again, we, the judges of the High Court, developed the High Court Practice Directions, which were gazetted on March 2022, and I was very glad, my lady, that is one of the first things you did for us in the High Court. The directions aimed at consolidating and standardizing practice and procedure in the High Court, enhancing access to justice, facilitating timely and efficient disposal of cases, ensuring uniformity in court experience, promoting the use of technology in court proceedings for expeditious disposal of cases, among many others, so that somebody will not say, in Eldoret they do this, in Makueni they do this, but Nairobi, why do you do this? So that we have a standard way of performance. In that respect, we embarked on reviewing the Registry Operations Manual also to facilitate the rollout and even application of ICT initiatives in all High Court stations. This was also to align the manual with the new policies, practice directions, and other changes in law. It is hoped that the manual will demystify the procedures for all the court users, achieve efficiency and accountability, and ensure uniform customer experience in High Court, in all the High Court registries. Madam Chief Justice, ladies and gentlemen, access to justice is a basic but fundamental principle of the rule of law. It includes both the substantive and procedural elements. It entails the removal of barriers to our courts while affording equal treatment to all regardless of their status. That is why, in consultation with the High Court Advisory Committee, we continuously subjected our operations and processes to consistent evaluation for effective and efficient service delivery. As we all know, case backlog has continued to be a thorn in the flesh of the judiciary. Delays in processing and adjudication of cases have continued to draw a myriad complaints across the country. It's against this background that we endeavored to put in place case backlog reduction strategies to bring the numbers down. A shortage of financial and human resources, as I've alluded to earlier, are the key contributors to that backlog building up. As I was telling you, my lady, we were doing very well when we were about 90, but now 30 are gone. So, and the judges who are there are still carrying the same load, so it means the traction will be slowed. The court has, however, put in tremendous effort, utilizing the little available resources, putting emphasis on improving processes for effective and efficient service delivery. Through targeted and intensified hearing of cases and improved processes, the court has continued to bring down the number of cases. I had thought that we would have some slides there just showing the graphs, but I had thought we had the whole morning to work. But when I was called that the JSC wanted to speak with me, I had to leave Nakuru and I was arriving here in the night, so we didn't have time to do the backlog because this process was also brought up in the morning. As we all know, case backlog, that is what we are working on. That's the biggest the elephant in the room for the judiciary. So we were cognizant of the fact that the probate and administration cases constitute 17,159 cases out of the 81,000 cases in the High Court. And all this, my lady, is not something I just go and study and get out. We always have meetings with the judges, either through the colloquiums or when we are doing via Zoom. So the resolutions that we come up with are what I will distill into directions to the judges, because it is then something we have all agreed on. It's not something I'm just conjuring out, because they are the ones to look at what they have in their dockets and tell me that, for example, I have this number. When we put it together, we found out that the problem is in the probate and administration cases. So that's when we came up with the idea to have a service week for those particular cases. So during the High Court Leaders Conference held in January 2022, a number of resolutions were arrived at, which I distilled into guidelines, which I sent down. My lady, I copied them to you, and I thank you that you wrote me a very beautiful letter thanking me for what we were doing. During my maiden address upon election as principal judge, I undertook to develop a strategic plan for the court, because now that we had an act and we had the rules, we needed a plan. What is it? Where are we? And where do we want to go? So that is what I promised my colleagues that we would do. And it took us time because we were waiting for the mother strategic plan for the judiciary. But finally, we have one that is for the period 2021 to 2025. The plan will assist the court to align its operations with the overall transformation agenda of the judiciary. It will strengthen its capacity for service delivery, provide a framework for mobilizing resources, provide framework for monitoring and evaluation and the court units, and communicate the court's vision to stakeholders, so that my brother coming in, now he has a blueprint, he has a document that can help him. He doesn't have to grope in the dark like my brother Mongo and I. We used to do what we called firefighting. But now when you have a document that shows you where you are and where you want to go, at least you know where you are going. A model court, the court aspires to be a model court in dispute resolution and protection of rights and liberties. The plan outlines 6 key result areas. Maybe at this point, my lady, because I'm just about to wind up, I could call the High Court Advisory Committee forward, so that, I don't know whether we are all here. Justice Sergon, please, Judge of Appeal, you have not yet been replaced, so I'm talking about what we did, not what you are going to do, so just come forward, please. Where is Justice Maina and Justice Ongudi? I didn't see Justice Odunga. Okay. If you could just stand somewhere so that Wananchi can see who this animal called High Court Advisory Committee, who are they, so that I was not dreaming up all these things, because you need a council of elders around you to help you think through things. In this strategic plan, we came up with 6 key result areas in the strategic plan. So the first one was enhanced access to justice. That was headed by the Honorable Dr. Justice Sergon. And then expedited delivery of justice. This is where the issues of backlog and whatever come in, by the Honorable Justice Agre Muchelule, now Judge of Appeal. Growth of jurisprudence and knowledge management, that was for Lord Denning. He's not here. Judge Odunga is not here. Modernized registry operations, because as you know, most of our problems, we are told there's some problem in the registry. So we thought we need to focus on this registry and find out what can we do to make these registries work the way Wananchi need to be served. So this was under the stewardship of Justice Esther Maina. And then there was improved governance and institutional capacity. This is also just about human resource and how we do things like having even the customer care desk, things that make us user-friendly to the consumers. This was headed by Lady Justice Hedwig Ongudi. You see, we are very gender sensitive now, Natun. The sixth one, which my lord, the incoming, if you keep this arrangement, yours, which was mine, was enhancing court brand image, awareness and public, selling us to the public, selling us to the people that, that we serve, branding the High Court. That was the one for the PJ. So if you keep that arrangement, that is what you might have. Now, Judge Odunga has gone up, Judge Mchelule has gone up, and I'm also not there. So he will have to now we usually get them from within so that you can have meetings at short notice. There is nobody who will have to be off the course list. They meet even late in the day. There is no per diem to be paid because you are not coming from somewhere else. So that's why we take them from the presiding judges around in Milimani. So the High Court Advisory Committee is expected to play a major role. Thank you. You may sit if you would like. In implementation of the strategic plan in line with the STARG. And I don't know whether Judge Omange will stand alone or she should have stood with them because she also has... Judge Omange, are you here? I wanted to introduce her separately because the two of us, I think we've really been in sync. So when you get a registrar that you can work well with, you come up with so many things. She doesn't refuse to call to pick my phone even if I call her at 10 in the night. She doesn't refuse to pick even if it's on a Saturday because suddenly I have had, that light bulb moment. You were thinking through something and you didn't know what to do. Suddenly you've gotten an idea. And before you forget it, you say, I have to call her. She picks. She's now a judge of ELC. Judge, where is the president? You are getting a gem in this judge. Besides the court, also what she does in administration, she really, really is good. She really has given me great support. Thank you, Judge. Thank you. The overall leadership of the principal judge will be essential to successful implementation of the plan. The Office of the Registrar High Court will be critical in execution of this and support. However, since 3 members have now left, there will be new members coming in. In the spirit of inclusivity and shared leadership, the advisory committee had passed a resolution to establish High Court regional groups in the issue of shared leadership, so that everything does not keep coming back to the office of the PJ. Let somebody try it on the ground so that the PJ is getting a report or is going there to see whether they are doing what it is the rest of the judges agreed with. So that we had zoned and put, it's not yet something that had started, but we had already passed it to have zones so that those zones can together help each other with best practices, with what problems, what can you solve at the ground before it all comes to Nairobi. Because Nairobi doesn't have all the solutions. The solutions come from within us. I do not wish to say much because the handing over report highlights all these activities. There is a big handing over report, Judge, which we will give to you to look through what we have done to see what works, what does not work, what you can distill from it. Including the successes in the running of the High Court for the period from 2018 to date. As I hand over the baton to the next principal judge, I am confident that a strong foundation has been laid for the effective and efficient running of the High Court in service delivery. I wish you, Principal Judge, the very best as you steer the court to greater heights. The principal judge, the LSK chair said you are called Justice Eric Kennedy Okumu Ogola, and he thinks those are men. He forgot there's another name there, Theophilus. He's a judge with a long list of names, so I don't know. So Mr. Justice Eric Kennedy Theophilus Okumu Ogola. be fortified by the words of Dr. Warren Hoffman, a noted leadership coach, who said, authentic leadership is dealing with surprises. Sometimes you come in that thinking it's a normal day, you're even going to do your course list, then something has happened. So you deal with surprises, describing the unknown, predicting the unpredictable, anticipating the nameless and anonymous, and stepping in places where angels fear to walk. Speaking with authority from dusty crystal ball. Because when these colleagues come there, they expect you have answers. So sometimes you just talk until by the time they are leaving, it's only after they have left that they realize you didn't even have the answer. But the opening of the door, the being able to speak with them, because people are running stations with so much difficulty because of working with so little. So the fact that you can at least open the door and speak with them, so you look like you have some answers from a dusty crystal ball, but together you put your heads together and you'll come up with an answer. And also staying positive and hopeful while everyone else is going insane. Because now if you go insane, who will hold their hands? You're the one who has to stay positive and sane. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, PJ Emeritus, for the wonderful speech you've given this gathering. The next stage that, or the next ceremony that should be performed, which I will humbly request the Honorable Chief Justice, is to do two things. One is to do the commendation of the outgoing PJ, and secondly is to vest the search on the, so I'll kindly request you, the Honorable Chief Justice, to do that. The registrar can give it. Nafikiria wacha asome kwanza commendation. Yes. I think Kete kwanza. I think better sit yako. Let me sit first.
Honorable judges, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I do this in honor of the Honorable Lady Justice Rindia Achonde, Judge of Appeal, CBS, our outgoing Principal Judge of the High Court. On behalf of the judiciary, I commend your leadership for outstanding service and leadership as the Principal Judge of the High Court. Your leadership has set a high bar, evident in the exceptional productivity score that has been achieved by the High Court during your tenure. You have left a strong foundation upon which we shall continue to build on the gains realized by the High Court. On behalf of the entire legal fraternity, I acclaim your leadership for your outstanding commitment and unabated dedication to fulfill the constitutional assurance of access to justice to all. I also take this momentous occasion to declare your leadership a champion of social transformation through access to justice. On behalf of the judiciary again and the entire legal fraternity, it is my distinguished honor and privilege to present to the Rende Justice Rindia Ashonde a certificate of excellence in recognition of her excellent leadership and institutional stewardship of the High Court as the principal judge between the period of 2018 to 2022. And now, I adorn you with this charge, a mark of honor and privilege of being called PJ Emeritus.
Thank you, CJ, for having performed those ceremonies. The next part of the ceremony is to call upon the Honorable Anna Madi, Chief Registrar, to do the proclamation, the holder of the office of the Principal Judge. Thank you.
The Honorable the Chief Justice, President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, distinguished judges, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is now my humble duty and privilege to do the proclamation. I, Anna Madi, Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, hereby confirm that I have received from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission a certificate confirming that Honorable Mr. Justice Eric Kennedy Okumu Ogola was on the 15th day of September 2022 duly elected the Principal Judge of the High Court. The installation of the new Principal Judge will be done by the Honorable the Chief Justice pursuant to Rule 4 of the High Court Organization and Administration General Rules. May I now humbly ask the Honorable the Principal Judge-elect to approach the stage. May I also ask the Honorable the Chief Justice to come forward as well. May I ask you to come forward and take the oath? You're affirming?
Yeah, and read. Yes.
Are you taking a Bible?
Yes, the Bible.
The Bible, please.
Affirm.
I, Eric Kennedy Theophilus Okumu Ogola, the Principal Judge of the High Court, having previously taken the oath of office of Judge of the High Court of Kenya, do hereby solemnly reaffirm the said oath. And now I do swear in the name of the Almighty God to faithfully and diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya in the office of the Principal Judge of the High Court, and that I undertake to hold my office as Principal Judge with honor and dignity, that I will be a true and faithful counselor to the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya for the good management of the affairs of the High Court and the judicial arm of the Republic of Kenya, that I shall duly consult with the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, that I will not divulge directly or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties, and committed to my secrecy except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as Principal Judge, and that I will perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability in accordance with this constitution as by law established, and the laws and customs of the Republic, without any fear, favor, bias, affection, ill will, prejudice, or any political, religious, or other influence. So God help me.
Indeed, so help you God. Please let's move to the signing table. The Chief Justice will now hand over the role of Principal Judges to the Honorable the PJ. Congratulations, Justice Ogola, Principal Judge. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that bit of it. The next is to call upon the outgoing Principal Judge to hand over what we call the instruments of power.
the outgoing Principal Judge of the High Court is now handing over to the Honorable Chief Justice the handing over report that will guide the incoming Principal Judge, actually the Principal Judge of the High Court, on aspects that have been achieved to date and things that will be delivered forward. Next is the badge. You can see that very sequential handover through the Honorable Chief Justice, because indeed the act operationalizing the office of the PJ assigns the Principal Judge the responsibility to report to the Honorable Chief Justice. So those are the instruments of power, instruments of leadership changing hands there. Very monumental, very instrumental. Next would be a package that would have instruments that will guide the Principal Judge of the High Court to execute the mandate detailed by dint of Article 165 and Section 6 of the Act operationalizing that office. So as you can see, these are the guiding elements. These are the tools, including the Constitution, the Act, and all the aspects that define and signifies the High Court. So the band, please. I think we have just witnessed something monumental. I now invite you. We have one final. Thank you, band. Thank you, band. As the band entertains us. So we have yet another insignia of justice, and these are the scales of justice that will stand as a reminder of the mandate of the judiciary as provided for in the Constitution. It is an important symbol because really if those scales don't balance, if the supply side of justice does not balance with the demand side of justice, then the requirements of Article 48, Article 159, Article 165, and indeed the entire fabric of the Constitution stands at a compromise. So band, I welcome you now to entertain us with a bit of fanfare. We are also going to have confetti at this moment to signify the celebration, and I invite you all to join us in a warm applause of this very incremental moment. If I could kindly request to be upstanding to celebrate this very, very significant moment where the High Court now officially has a new Principal Judge, a constitutional office that signifies really the exceptionality of the High Court as the primary guardian of the Constitution. Thank you, band. We'll continue with the fanfare as the Chief Justice congratulates the Principal Judge, and as we witness just this beautiful and significant moment, and every time the judiciary leading by example. What a beautiful and warm ceremony. My lady, allow me to request to remain on stage as we have the ceremonial photos. We will have a picture. Yeah, even you. We will have a picture of the Honorable Chief Justice and the Principal Judge of the High Court. We have Zakim Rajan, HSC, Director of Photography in the Judiciary, guiding. As a cause of protocol, the Honorable Chief Justice would stand on the left-hand side of the Principal Judge. Those are some of the little observations that really mean so much in the order of seniority and protocol in government. I will now invite the Honorable Chief Registrar to join that picture, because really the duality, The duality of the roles of the Chief Registrar and the Chief Justice, supported by the Principal Judge, is a core mark of how that leadership flows in the structure of the judiciary. I will now invite my lady, Lady Justice Lydia Chodek, to join that picture. These are ceremonial pictures at this point of the ceremony, and we will have a set of 6 other pictures at the end of this auspicious ceremony. So really, that is the complete package, the face of the High Court, and the representation of power and leadership through our institution. Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Justice. May I request and invite you to take your seat. Indeed, the stage is now colored as a significant testament of what just happened here today. Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Justice, my lady and Lord Judges, distinguished guests, stakeholders, friends. Thank you very much, band. The High Court, the Principal Judge of the High Court will now officially move from the back seat to the front seat, signifying his position as Chief Advisor to the Chief Justice on all matters of the High Court. So that movement is also quite significant. The Principal Judge now takes his rightful position next to the Chief Justice. A round of applause, please. Thank you very much. At the front seat, you will see on the side where the Chief Justice is, the model of shared leadership coming to life. And that model of the shared leadership is actually from the Constitution itself. Thank you very much, band. Asanteni sana. Thank you, band. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Thank you, band. I will now hand over the microphone to Honorable Justice Sirgon to invite Justice Mwongo to deliver the appreciation remarks. Thank you very much. Honorable Judge. This is working.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. May I take this opportunity now to call upon Justice Richard Mwongo, PJ Emeritus, to make his remarks. Thank you.
Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, President of the Court of Appeal, I recognize you. PJ Emeritus 3, welcome to the club. CRJ, I recognize you. I recognize my colleague judges, friends, colleagues from the LSK, and our other stakeholders. Good morning, if it is still morning, I think it is. Good morning. I suspect I was asked to make these appreciation remarks because I could make a commentary on what was going on. But, and I recall we were talking with Judge Majanja just before I came up, and somebody was asking, did we do all this for Judge Mwongo when he came? And then, of course, you know, we came from the bush, and here we are now. This is why it is important for us to appreciate growth and development and success, where we see it and when we see it, isn't it? So we are now giving appreciation remarks in the context of a transition from the Achode era or Achode administration to the Ogola administration. And so it is my pleasure to make these few remarks of appreciation. First, appreciation to Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, and the Deputy Chief Justice too. We thank you for graciously convening this ceremony. It is a statutory ceremony, and we are grateful that you took it in stride. It is important in the life of the High Court, as you could see, and we thank you for your immense and continuous support and guidance to the High Court. We celebrate you together with the DCJ as part of our leaders. I recall, and this is important, that you are also products of the High Court. Very proudly, thank you. We want to appreciate the JSC here represented, I think, by Honorable Justice Majanja. The JSC are our leaders in the sense that they set for the judiciary, for the High Court, all the policies that we follow, and we are grateful that we can work with you through our PJ, whose one of his roles is to implement the policies set up by the judiciary and also by the JSC, and we thank you for the support that we've had from the JSC, in particular for all the hard work you do in employing staff for us and also in interviewing and nominating judges who then come to the High Court. We want to appreciate the President of the Court of Appeal. We have just given you an additional member of the leadership of the judiciary. In terms of the Constitution, we have the President of the Supreme Court, we have the Vice President of the Supreme Court, now we have the President of the Court of Appeal with us, we now have the Principal Judge of the High Court, and we have other colleagues from our Equal Status Court in the Employment and Labor Relations Court, Justice Maureen Onyango, and also the Principal Judge of the Presiding Judge of the ELC, Justice Angote. So we now have a complete complement, and we are grateful and appreciate you all for having made the time to come. PJ Emeritus 3, we want to thank you for your leadership of the High Court in the last 4 years. We experienced stability despite COVID. We experienced growth and accomplishment, which are very visible for all of us to see. We thank you and we wish you all the best in the Court of Appeal. The High Court Advisory Committee was introduced to us earlier. We thank the High Court Advisory Committee. It's a statutory committee under the High Court Organization and Administration Act. We thank you for the time and effort you spend in doing all the background work that is so necessary in order for the leadership of the High Court to proceed. And also we thank you for ensuring that this ceremony was a success. Outgoing Registrar of the High Court, you are still outgoing until you go out. I think this is probably one of your last events. We are very grateful. You worked with me when I was there. You have worked with Justice Achode, and just for the next 2 weeks, if you will work with the Principal Judge Eric Theophilus Okumu Kennedy Ogola, then that will help us if the Principal Judge of the ELC will allow for 2 weeks. He says no, he needs her right away. Okay, but we appreciate your service and all the endeavor of hard work that you gave us. I want to thank the Office of the OPJ for the administrative support that you continually give us, together with the Office of the RHC. Your Office of the PJ administratively manages the affairs of the High Court, and so we want to thank you for all the telephone calls, for all the detailed arrangements that you make to enable us to survive irrespective of where in the country we are. Deputy Registrars of the High Court, some of you may be here, and magistrates, we want to thank you also. Without you, the High Court is really nothing. And we thank you that in every function you really do give us so much support. We thank you for your perseverance, forbearance, and support. We also want to thank the staff of the High Court. Without you and all the hard work that you do in the background, often unnoticed, unrecognized, or unacknowledged, we take this opportunity to thank you. May God bless you. Our stakeholders, we want to thank the LSK, we want to thank the ODPP, we want to thank the AG's office. We don't take this for granted. The fact that you are always ready to come to our aid, but we also want to plead with you to continue challenging us and keeping us accountable for the sake of the Constitution and for the sake of the Republic, for the sake of Wanjiku. Our development partners, we will not forget you. I will not dare long list or short list you or your names, but we applaud you all for the unstinting support over the years that we have received, whether it is in registry operations, whether it is in an event like this one, whether it is in training, whether it is in election preparedness, whatever area that our development partners have been in support of us, we are extremely grateful, because that has all been to assist us with the administration of justice. Acting PJ, I will not forget you, Honorable Justice Sargon, just 2 months old, I think, as acting PJ, but you handled us well, very softly, with your very gentle demeanor. We thank you for bringing us through the election of the PJ. We thank all the participants, the candidates for that election. You conducted yourself very, very honorably, with great decorum. I don't think there was even a rumor of anything that went wrong in connection with the campaign. There was no negativity at all throughout the campaign. Thank you for assisting us in that way. All our judges, my colleagues, I want to thank you for exercising your right of suffrage and providing a leader for the constitutional office of PJ. We thank you for attending today's installation despite the urgent change in timing. We, of course, I am your voice now for now, my dear judges. We are, of course, going to put our PJ to task to fulfill his elections manifesto. You remember the document that he gave us? Very nicely done. I hope it was not just the sheen of it that brought us on board, but we will keep you to your manifesto. Last but not least, Honorable Justice Eric Kennedy Theophilus Okumu Ogola, we thank you for offering yourself to give us leadership in the High Court. You have our full support and our prayers. You have our confidence. You carry our hopes, and we bless you and pray that the will of God will be done through you for the High Court and for the Republic of this of Kenya. As you give us leadership, remember always that the goal is the fair and expeditious administration of justice for the sake of Wanjiku, the citizens of Kenya, and for this great republic of ours. Thank you, and God bless you. If you don't mind, I'll remove the scroll from here, because I think it may be forgotten. There are some important documents here.
Thank you, Justice Mwongo, PJ Emeritus 2. That clarification had to be met. I earlier said PJ Emeritus. Someone corrected me, no. There are so many Emeritus PJs. May I take this opportunity to humbly request our new principal judge to come forward and make his maiden speech.
I'm not sure whether it's still afternoon or good morning. Good morning. Honorable Lady Justice Martha Koome, Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Honorable Judge, President of the Court of Appeal, Judge Musinga, my lords, colleagues, Honorable President of the Law Society of Kenya, Honorable Representative from the Attorney General, members who have come to witness my installation, my friends and my family, good morning again. From the outset, I want to get this clear because I don't think we should go back to it again. My name. My name is Eric Theophilus. Eric Kennedy Theophilus Okumu Ogola. When I joined the judiciary in the year 2011, the then Chief Justice Honorable Willie Mutunga told me that those names were so many. So he said that because we don't have space and time, I should reduce them. So I told my Lord that I would prefer to be called just Lord Ogola, to shorten all of them, but my Lord told me that we are coming to the judiciary at a time when we don't want to use the word Lord. So what do we do? So we agreed, it was a negotiated settlement that I would now remove 2 and remain with 4. And that's why we have Eric Kennedy Okumu Ogola. So let's get it, Mr. Theory. It is now settled. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate that in this congregation there are people who have come to witness this ceremony, and they have come from Mombasa. The LSK team from Mombasa are here. The Law Society team from Eldoret, where I currently work, are here. And I just want to say thank you. In the congregation, I have my family. We'll be able to take photos, but my family, I have a large family, and we are also a family of lawyers. I want my family to stand up. Yes, this is my family, and the senior most lawyer in my family is Chacha Odera. Chacha, can you greet us? Thank you. You can sit down. So my family also came from where we come from, and they met others who are already here. So we are big. The eldest or the leading members of our family is Muse Ondiek and Mama Josephina Odera. They are here. Thank you very much. So, members of the judiciary, now I want to say something about why we are here. And allow me to read what I had written. 11 years ago, I stood as I did today and took an oath, solemnly swearing to diligently serve the people of Kenya as a judge of the High Court. Soon thereafter, the first matter that I presided over was an application for interlocutory injunction, and the issue was whether the application before me had met the threshold of Jela versus Casman Brown. I first interacted with Jela versus Casman Brown as a first-year student at the University of Nairobi, and after 20 years of legal practice, I could quote the decision in my sleep. So when counsel argued, I felt a sense of calm and comfort that was brought from the familiarity of Jela versus Casman Brown. I confidently knew that in my tenure as a judge, I would be able to impartially do justice to Wanjiku in accordance with the Constitution, the law, customs, and usage of this country, and above all, with the peace and assurance brought by the familiarity and simplicity of the law. It has been over a decade now, and I can proudly attest that I have protected, administered, and defended the Constitution, and that I have upheld the dignity and respect of the judiciary. So I stand here today, humble and grateful to my colleagues, you, my lords and my ladies, who have validated my effort by bestowing their trust in me and electing me as the principal judge of the High Court of Kenya. Thank you. I joined this esteemed institution immediately after Kenyans ushered in their new day constitution. Subsequently, and under the auspice of retired Chief Justice Emeritus Willie Mutunga and David Maraga, the judiciary was put on a permanent track of transformation through the blueprints, the Judiciary Transformation Framework, and the Sustaining Judiciary Transformation. These two blueprints bore the immensity of their assignment as a trustee of the dreams of many whose quest to expand access to justice led them to immense loss, ridicule, dismemberment, and even death. Our heroes, many of them still with us today, put tyranny, oppression, and exploitation on their back and foot and made strides towards freedom, opportunity, and transparency in the judiciary. With that, among other strides, the constitutional office of the principal judge was heralded in 2013 by my Lord PM Emeritus Hon Richard Mwongo, who then passed the baton to Lady Justice Lydia Achode in 2018. Their reign was memorable in several thematic ways. The High Court Organization and Administration Act and rules were promulgated, virtual courts and an e-filing system became a reality, backlog of cases was significantly reduced, and the performance management and measurement understanding, PMMU, was made part of the justice system. I therefore take off my hat and congratulate my Lord and my Lady aforesaid for laying the foundation for a strong jurisprudential and justice superway in the High Court. Now I come in as principal judge under the leadership of Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Honorable Martha Koome. My vision for the High Court is to realize the full potential of each judge and to meet the judiciary's vision of social transformation through access to justice. I hasten to add that my vision is no different from the vision of the Chief Justice, and as a principal judge, it is my fundamental duty to do according to that vision and to ensure that I support fully the transformative agenda of the Honorable the Chief Justice. My Chief Justice, my lady, this office, I will give you total support. By dint of Article 165 of the Constitution, the High Court is arguably the most impactful division of the court structure in Kenya. It is indeed the engine of judicial life by its ultimate original jurisdiction in civil and criminal matters and the fact of national outreach. While the High Court has always been at the center of Kenya's judicial structure, the Constitution has tested its strength. It is on the judicial record that in the last 12 years, the High Court has outperformed itself in constitutional interpretation and many precedent-setting rulings and judgments in all spheres of the law. The High Court has become the backbone of the justice system and has contributed to the growth of jurisprudence, democracy, and the economy. Since 2012, several judges of the High Court have been promoted to the Court of Appeal and even to the Supreme Court. But those remaining have always continued with the tradition of sustaining the High Court's jurisprudential superhighway. This remains our promise: access to justice through quality jurisprudence delivered promptly. The High Court has now become our home, and it is our duty to make it a great, comfortable, and familiar home, and to deliver justice in the simplicity, honesty, and familiarity of Jailer versus Casman Brown. I am taking over as the principal judge of the High Court at a time of serious challenges in terms of personnel in that court. In the last 4 years, the High Court has been the breeding ground for the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. We have also lost High Court judges to natural attrition such as retirement and death. The number of High Court judges has substantially dwindled, and this remains a serious challenge to the Judicial Service Commission to adequately address the issue. I place good hope on the current recruitment process and urge the Judicial Service Commission and the President of the Commission, who is here, her leadership, the Chief Justice, to enlist at least 50 judges to ease the burden of justice delivery nationwide and also the burden on the judges of the High Court. The lack of judges is made worse by the ongoing election petitions, where more than 46 judges will be involved. This inadequacy calls for patience, not only from the litigants, but also from judges who will feel the pressure of having to do election petitions and at the same time deal with their usual cost list. I am happy that the President of the Law Society of Kenya is here, and he understands the challenges that we are going to face in the next few months. Chairman, President, Theory, have this in mind and bear with us. Next few months will be very difficult because of the challenges that we have, but we'll work with you. However, this is a challenge I can assure you that we look forward to. We are prepared for it, and we shall discharge this burden stoically. Dear friends, regardless of the very varied and rich professional backgrounds, all judges arrive at the High Court simply as judges, with the mandate to lead Wanjiku to full access to substantive justice. However, over time, judges have specialized and gained further experiences in specific areas of law such as maritime, arbitration, family, including Islamic law, intellectual property, air and space law, oil and gas, etc. My goal is to harness this intellectual resource and methodically distribute it to where each judge can exercise their expertise and create indigenous jurisprudence, the thematic issue of what Chief Justice. Chief Justice is very particular about what she refers to as indigenous jurisprudence. And I will, by the will of God, harness this talent which judges have so that we can create alternative or indigenous jurisprudence in line with our various intellectual abilities. Further to this, and in collaborations with the Kenya Judicial Academy, I hope to identify the training needs and opportunities for judges so that they are at par with changes in different sectors of law around the world. Now that the Judiciary Fund and rules have been put in place, I shall give special attention to equitable funding for the High Court as a distinct entity and brand in the judiciary. In close consultation with the Registrar of the High Court, I shall seek to ensure that the High Court Advisory Committee and the leadership and management teams are able to fully participate in the budgeting process under the fund, as they are statutory entities endowed with advisory mandates for enhancing policy and operational matters. The Office of the Principal Judge will also be the link and voice of the judges of the High Court in relation to the other organs such as the Office of the Chief Justice, the Chief Registrar, and the Judicial Service Commission. I plan to establish efficient lines of communication between these offices and the judges and be responsive to the needs of the judges by setting out fora in which the issues affecting judges such as transfers and complaints may be efficiently addressed. There will be an open door policy in this office where every judge will be free to voice their concerns and take part in decision-making process. As part of this endeavor, I shall also seek to strengthen the support to strengthen and support the presiding judges of each station and division so that the unique issues affecting such station may be addressed at that level. And my lady that going, okay, they are outgone. Principal Judge had already alluded to this. In fact, she took us through a process in Naivasha where we saw what we can call devolution of the office of the Principal Judge. Judge, thank you for that blueprint. It is the blueprint that I will implement by the grace of God and by the support of the judges. The Constitution has expanded the family of judges as we speak today. There's a need for greater cohesion and togetherness. As a principal judge, one of my objectives will be to promote collegiality, not only between the judges of the High Court, but also with the judges of the courts of equal status. In particular, I shall endeavor to have regular meetings with the principal and presiding judges heading those courts to establish common grounds and working norms. In particular, as a foster to this unity, I will agitate for equal opportunity in the consideration for appointment to the Court of Appeal from the High Court, Environment and Land Court, and Employment and Labor Relations Court as a matter of right. I believe that if we harness the various individual and collective attributes and diversity each one of us brings to this institution, we will succeed in fostering an enduring culture of solidarity that will promote inclusivity and intellectual growth in our courts. The role of the principal judge cannot be understated. For me to succeed, I need my colleagues, judges of the High Court, to work together by each being a leader in their own capacity. In furtherance to this, we have health issues in one way or another which restrain us from employing our best abilities. While I do appreciate the medical insurance cover that is in place, the same is inadequate. Some of the judges who serve this court are of an advanced age and may suffer from illnesses that require special treatment. I will engage the Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary and push for enhancement of our medical insurance cover, both for outpatient and inpatient. Our medical health is also crucial, and to this end, our mental health is also crucial, and to this end, I will advocate for the establishment of a Department of Counseling and Psychology within the Directorate of Human Resources. Retirement benefits. The office of a retired judge is provided for in the Constitution. Efforts must be made to have an exit plan for retiring judges. These judges must be adequately facilitated when clearing and separating from the institution. Post-retirement, these judges can still serve the institution as mentors and trainers. My office will put in place measures to ensure early seminars on retirement planning to be offered by the Kenya Judiciary Academy, trainings for the Judiciary Pension Scheme providers on how to access one's pension and or grow their accrued sums during retirement, establish with the Kenya Judiciary Academy a resource pool of retiring judges as consultants, part-time lecturers, tutors, and advisors, facilitate occasional get-togethers and visitation of serving and retired judges, and accelerate enactment of the Retirement Benefit Act for judges. To ensure the social welfare of judges and outside work, I will spearhead the actualization of the club membership for judges, and I'm aware that this is a work which is actually in progress, and I want to applaud the Honorable Chief Justice for that. I will endeavor to seek the views of the judges on the scope of such membership so as to ensure that the social amenities offered meet their needs. In conclusion, I wish to quote Thomas Reid, who said that, in quote, "The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. For if that fails, the chain fails, and the object that it has been holding up falls to the ground." This means that this is one institution. the judiciary is a single institution. We may have the Supreme Court, we may have the Court of Appeal, we may have the High Court, we may have the Magistrate Court, but ideally we are one. And our duty is simple. We are in the business of settling disputes and nothing else. That dispute can be settled in the Magistrate Court, or it can be settled in the Court of Appeal, or in the High Court, or in the Supreme Court. But at the end of the day, our duty is single, settlement of disputes. And that's why we are here. We want to make sure that when disputes are brought to us, we settle them in the most efficient manner, in the most cost-effective way, and the way that every member of the public will see that here is a working judiciary. Lastly, I make a special plea to my constituents, the High Court. Like you have agreed, I ask you to support me. And in your support, if you support me, I will also be able to support our institution, support the Chief Justice in her vision, and support other institutions within the judiciary for the effective delivery of our mandate. And in conclusion, I wish to acknowledge and appreciate my worthy competitors, Justices Joseph Sergon, Daktari, thank you very much. And also Anthony Ndungu. I thank you very much, my competitors, for the mature campaigns we carried out. I further want to thank Dr. Honorable Joseph Sergon again, who has very ably been holding in acting capacity the Principal Judge's office and has done wonderful. During that short time, he has carried two very important functions. The first one is the elections which took place. Judge, thank you. The second one is the competence of this meeting, of this ceremony. Judge, thank you. I also want to thank the immediate former Principal Judge, Lady Justice, Lady Achode, and I wish you success, Judge, in the Court of Appeal. May God bless you. I also want to acknowledge and thank the judicial directorates. We have many directorates in the judiciary. They perform matters which we cannot, and we are able to succeed because they support us. I want to thank you, all the directorates in the judiciary. May God bless you. I also extend thank you to our aides, drivers, and our aides who attend to us and make sure that everything goes to plan. We cannot succeed alone. Your success is our success, and I want to acknowledge you. Lastly, I also extend my gratitude to the officials of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, for successfully conducting the Principal Judge elections on 15th of September 2022. Now, most importantly, I thank the Almighty God who, from the prayer that is our national anthem, has made my heart strong and true in service to my homeland, Kenya. May God bless you, may God bless Kenya, and may justice continue to be our shield and defender. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Judge, for your comments. May I take this opportunity to welcome Justice Musinga, President of the Court of Appeal, to come and make his remarks. Then thereafter perform the second duty of welcoming the CJ.
My lady
the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya and the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, may I have your permission to adopt the protocols that have already been laid out so well in this place in the interest of time. Today is indeed a great day. I am happy to join all of you here, and in particular to be present to witness this colorful ceremony of unveiling the principal judge of the High Court of Kenya. I will not repeat those many names, but you've already settled the issue. I know the the High Court is in very good hands. And I say this confidently because, Chief Justice, I knew this distinguished judge when he was a practitioner. Both of us were active members of the Law Society, of Mombasa Law Society. We did many matters together. And I know that he's an accomplished scholar and a great judge. My lady, in 2011, yet again, after parting with him in Mombasa, I had the honor of inviting or welcoming him to the commercial division in this very building when I was heading that division. And for 2 years, we worked very well with my brother here and the other judges in the division. And so I can confidently say that I know, my brothers and sisters in the High Court, you made a good choice. And your job, my brother Justice Ogola, is made even easier by the fact that an excellent foundation has been set by your very able predecessors, my brother Justice Mwongo there, and my lady Justice Achode, who you've heard they've done an excellent job. And so, looking at the report that was given to you here by my lady Justice Achode, I know the roadmap is well laid out. Yours is simple implementation, and you will do an excellent job. We can only commend you to the Lord God Almighty, whom you've invoked his name, to guide you, to lead you, to show you the way, to be your protector, your keeper, and give you all the wisdom that you require. I am sure, my brothers and sisters in the High Court, whom you have appealed to, they'll give you all the support that you require to execute and excel in your office. The High Court is a very important court in the jurisprudential architecture of this institution, the judiciary. The High Court is the biggest contributor of the work that we do in the Court of Appeal. My lady, I want to say that the JSC that you heard has been doing a very good job in recruiting very good judges to that court. The caliber of judges that we have gotten in the Court of Appeal, I'm very happy with them because they have come from this wonderful court. They are already doing an excellent job. Even those whom I assign tasks 1 week after their appointment, they did an excellent job. You know, sometimes I hear comments out there, why does the Court of Appeal write shorter judgments than the High Court? May I say that when you have done such an excellent job, and you're basically looking at this decision that may have been challenged by a dissatisfied litigant, if good jurisprudence has been downloaded and it is there, you are basically affirming or checking whether the allegations made by the dissatisfied parties are right or not. At times, you do not need to spend so much ink to say that this is a good judgment. I can say that from where I sit, I think it's only about 5% or so of those decisions that for one reason or the other may be overturned. It is a testament, Chief Justice, that we have high caliber judges in the High Court. We have heard the lament of the principal judge that indeed the High Court has been depleted, courtesy of the promotion of a number of judges to the Court of Appeal. Indeed, that's a fact, and I hope that JSC, we are all aware, actually, it's out there in the public domain that recruitment is going to take place very soon. We hope that you're going to get the numbers, because we do not want there to be any weakness. You've told us about, you know, we do not want to have any weakness in that justice chain link. We want all the arms to be strong. And so, because it is not my day, after listening to such powerful remarks by the principal judge here, as I welcome the Chief Justice, I want to say this. Chief Justice, thank you very much for what you're doing for the institution of the judiciary. Your office is very busy. Indeed, last week we were with you in Nakuru when we were inducting the newest batch of our colleagues who have joined the Court of Appeal. We had a full-week induction, and thereafter, Chief Justice, you joined us to launch the Court of Appeal in Nakuru. And yet again this week, we were with you, my lady, the Chief Justice, in Naivasha, as you were giving the final briefing to High Court judges whom you have gazetted to do election petitions. And today, we are here on this function. And I know in between you have done many other things. Chief Justice and JSC, I want to say publicly that we truly appreciate the support that you've given the Court of Appeal. Because last year, we were down to 12. Barely the minimum statutory limit. But within your short period of being in office, the number has gone up by 17. We are now 29. And we want to promise that we are going to up our game. We have no reason now as a Court of Appeal of not reducing the backlog. We have no reason of not doing our very best to reduce the waiting time. We're going to strive to see whether we can finalize matters within the 1 year that ideally you have set for us. But it is still work in progress, because we see judges at all these levels, other levels are increasing, and therefore the number of appeals that we are getting are increasing every day. But we'll do our very best. And so with those very many remarks, my brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I request that we put our hands together to welcome the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya,
to address us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my Lord, the Honorable Mr. Justice Musinga, President of the Court of Appeal. Please, may we be seated. The Principal Judge, Mr. Justice Eric Kennedy Theophilus Okumu Ogola, I have also the privilege and honor of congratulating you most warmly and confirming that I will have no problems with your names. I declare them your official names because as a woman, I know why your mother gave you those 6 names. When she gave birth to you, she must have been filled with joy of receiving this very energetic, sharp-eyed baby, and therefore gave you all the names as if she was not going to have another one. So you deserve the names. We own them with you. We celebrate you on the assumption of office as the Principal Judge of the High Court. In the same breath, allow me to thank the outgoing Principal Judge, my sister now who is a judge of the Court of Appeal, the Honorable Lady Justice Rindia Achonde, and really thank her for her service and leadership of the High Court over the last 4 years. This is a period where the High Court has grown in leaps and bounds, both in terms of the quality of its jurisprudence and also in court performance, as reflected in the impressive case clearance rates. This moment, I also wish to acknowledge our PJ Emeritus, Honorable Mr. Justice Richard Mwongo, for laying the foundation, because in the judiciary, we keep on building from what has already been done. So thank you, Justice Mwongo. When Justice Rindia Achonde was promoted to the Court of Appeal, I was somewhat confused, but the 2 of you told me that there is nothing to worry about. Justice Achonde already recommended that I make Justice Dr. Saragon acting because he was the senior most within this building, and Justice Mwongo guided me on how we declare the position vacant and how we proceed. This is all about shared leadership. I think if anybody wants to know about shared leadership, devolution of power, they need to come to the judiciary and see how it happens. So this moment of transition in leadership of the High Court provides an opportunity for us as a judiciary and as a nation to reflect on the critical role played by the High Court in ensuring access to justice to our people and furthering the constitutional project of transformative constitutionalism. This transition also goes to show that our Constitution and our rule of law is maturing, even in terms of our democracy, that we recently also had a peaceful transition of our government from one regime to the other. The High Court occupies a central place and plays a critical role in our judicial system. as a court that exercises wide, original, and appellate jurisdiction, and that has a presence in all the corners of our country, the High Court and its performance has a significant bearing on how our people interact with the justice system. It is the High Court that provides leadership because, of course, we were there before the other courts came, the courts of equal status. It is the High Court that holds the stations together in terms of providing leadership. And we continue to applaud you and the fact that over the last 4 years, during the tenure of the Honorable Lady Justice Lindia Achonde as Principal Judge, the High Court has made great strides in improving the service delivery. This commendable feat has been achieved through continuous progress that has involved embracing new initiatives geared towards improving institutional performance, embracing technology, and leveraging on it in the service delivery, and embracing performance management, amongst others. My brother, Principal Judge, Mr. Justice Eric Ogola, you begin your term as a Principal Judge when we have embarked on a new quest of making our courts, including the High Court, centers of excellence. And you have already alluded to it in your beautiful speech. You could see he is really speaking like a Principal Judge, or is it like a Chief Justice already? You have already identified where we need to go. Our hope and expectation is that at the end of your 5-year tenure, it would be said that it was during your term as the Principal Judge that the High Court achieved the target of being a model court in service delivery, having cleared all the backlog and attained the current case disposal status. We will stand here to celebrate you and say this is the court that is being benchmarked and an example to be emulated by other courts locally and internationally. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, the assumption of office as Principal Judge of the High Court implicates the idea of this shared leadership drawn from Article 165 of the Constitution. In the case of the High Court, you will continue to champion the social transformation through access to justice, our vision for the judiciary. As the Principal Judge and the team leader, together with all the judges, because we recognize all the judges, all the registrars, deputy registrars, and all the people who work in the court have a critical role to play as drivers of court of excellence in the performance and innovations to secure enhanced performance of the High Court. We work together, and I'm happy you have repeated that chain link mantra, that the chain is as strong as its weakest point, because you, as the Principal Judge, you will be as strong as the weakest link that you have. Every officer that you have working under you, you must pull together towards ensuring that we achieve our objective of accessing justice to our people and responding to their expectations. Our expectation as the judiciary leadership, which you now join, and indeed the expectations by Kenyans, is that the Principal Judge, all our judges, judiciary staff, registrars, and the court users of the High Court will be at the forefront in coming up with interventions to ensure timely delivery of justice to litigants. And looking at your wonderful CV and even what you shared so that you are elected to this office, I have no doubt completely in my mind that you are the best in terms of bringing the best out of what we have, consolidating the gains that are already there, working with the other stakeholders to find solutions for the problems that we encounter, because we do not serve ourselves, we serve our stakeholders, key among them the Law Society of Kenya. This is indeed the embodiment of the people-centered justice approach by the judiciary. Indeed, our stage vision for the judiciary, the social transformation through access to justice, pursues an agenda that intends to ensure that the delivery of justice is efficient and prompt. We have now set our benchmark for expedited delivery of justice to be the goal of ensuring that no court case should stay in trial for more than 3 years. And indeed, as the Honorable President of the Court of Appeal has said, none should stay on appeal for more than a year. I am confident that the principal judge will continue to be at the forefront and to take the driver's seat in leading the High Court towards attainment of this target. Indeed, as I was penning your letter transferring you to Nairobi to take this seat of authority here in Nairobi, I was advised that the most difficult division is the family division, and that is the one that requires your specialization. And therefore, I have put you there right at the center of the problem, and I believe because of your energy, your case management strategy that is legendary, you will actually help us get out of those 17,000 cases that are pending in the entire High Court family division all over the country. Tackling the problem of case backlog and delay in resolution of cases demands that we rethink how we manage our courts in fundamental ways. Therefore, our vision allows and indeed encourages localized and court-based innovations geared towards enhancing court performance. And I was pleased that your predecessor and a very vibrant leadership team that continuously advised her how to proceed with all the challenges that she encountered during her tenure. I therefore encourage you as a principal judge to continue re-engineering those practices and seeing how best to improve the efficiency of the High Court. In addition, the High Court being the doorway to most litigations, which touch on the interpretation and enforcement of our Constitution, you are actually the drivers of our transformative jurisprudence, and I'm happy with your emphasis on indigenous jurisprudence, because indeed we must find local solutions to our unique problems. A jurisprudence that is responsive to our social context and the social transformation imperatives of the 2010 Constitution. An indigenous jurisprudence that serves not only our purpose, but can also be exported to the other jurisdictions. For this short period I've been in the office, I can just attest that we are actually a country to watch. I have received over 10 delegations from other jurisdictions coming to benchmark on us. For me, because we beat ourselves to the pulp, I did not think we have anything to show. But there are so many people who think that Kenya is on a trajectory of becoming a regional leader especially in the judiciary. So allow me to use this opportunity to assure the High Court family, because indeed that is what you are, and our esteemed court users, that we in the Judicial Service Commission are well briefed about the concern around the reduced numbers of judges in the High Court. Indeed, as I was looking at the records at the Judicial Service Commission, I was alarmed to notice that the last time the Judicial Service Commission hired judges for the High Court was in 2013. That is 2013. That's when they started to hire. Then there were problems in getting them in office until 2016, dealing with those problems. But as we sit here, all those problems have been sorted out. And now we are working towards recruiting new judges. We are starting the interviews on Monday the 3rd, this October the 3rd. We start the interview for the 20, and when we finished, we also passed a resolution that we will be declaring vacancies depending on the resources that we will have, another 10, so that we can be back to the number of 90 judges before the end of the year. I am certain that we will have, by the end of the year, a very strong additional complement of judges at our High Court stations capable of delivering on the critical mandate of the judiciary. In addition, we are on course to realize our long-held physical infrastructural goal of having a High Court station in every county. The additional budgetary allocation of 3 billion annually, which we were granted, will greatly support the realization of this dream. In addition, and in the spirit of cooperative governance espoused in our Constitution and restated in our vision as our national institutional approach in pursuit of the fulfillment of the right of access to justice, we continue to engage also with the Council of Governance to avail land and other support mechanisms to anchor access to justice by enabling us put up this infrastructure to support the High Court and ensure that we have High Courts in all the 47 counties. We are also thinking about utilizing technology holistically to embed green justice practices. I hope that in the next decade, we can curb printing in the judiciary in solidarity with our forests. And that's why you see me carrying this iPad, because I want to promote a paperless Office of the Chief Justice. We want to rely on renewable energy in solidarity with our natural resources, build green judiciary spaces that preserve nature and act as safe and unintimidating spaces for litigants and all who engage with the judiciary. And for this, I wish to laud our ELC and our Principal Judge ELC, because they are carrying out this initiative in all our court stations. They are planting trees to mark their 10-year anniversary. To realize these aspirations, we need to call for total embrace of technology and all its attendant returns in every facet of our corporate engagement. I urge the High Court to lead in developing a paperless judiciary where courtrooms are hosted on the ground and the litigants accorded the flexibility of virtual proceedings. The feedback we have received from the use of technology is absolutely encouraging. Let us protect and preserve the gains brought about by virtual courts while working together with other government agencies to enforce the last mile connectivity agenda to ensure that the farthest from the center experience justice in the same character as delivered at those who are present in the court premises. These interventions are all geared towards availing a conducive and enabling environment for the High Court as the Rinda and other courts to follow suit. Data continues to be our guiding star, and I agree with our director of Depot, Dr. Kimaru, when he says, I quote, "What gets measured gets done." As at the day of your assumption of office, Honorable Principal Judge, I hope this will not scare you, there are 82,852 pending cases before you, with a backlog of 52,920 cases because they have been in the court system for longer than a year. 19,701 of these cases have stayed in our system beyond 3 years. Some are 5 years, others are 6 years. I therefore implore your lordship and your team to focus on these 19,701 cases during your first year in office and come up with strategies and interventions that will ensure that these cases will be out of the court system at least by December 2023. With additional judges that the JSC is targeting to join you by November 2022, I'm sure this can be done if we are committed and we deploy the right case management methodologies, which you are known for. I warmly welcome you, Principal Judge, to the Judiciary Leadership Team. Rest assured that we will support you and the High Court to realize your vision and the overall judiciary vision during your tenure as a Principal Judge. As we continue to navigate the perils of our modern world and to seek ways to make justice a universal and realizable value, let us continue to explore new ways of serving our people in this sacred duty of judging and judgeship. I will end with an encouraging quote from one Rahaf Wando Emerson, who said, and I quote, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." That is what we are asking of you, Honorable Principal Judge. Go where there is no path, but instead go where there is no path and leave a trail that others can follow. I wish you all the best. I wish you Godspeed, and I pray that you will have a wonderful time and you will enjoy your tenure of leadership as the Principal Judge, and you bring so much joy to all those you work with. And I wish to recognize your family and celebrate especially your mother and your father for bringing up a wonderful Rinda who has come to serve the judiciary. And finally, before I sit down, you may be wondering where my colleagues are. I also bring their message of congratulations. You know, they are a bit fatigued after what we have gone through. So when the time was changed from afternoon to morning, I think they were unable to adjust themselves. So they asked me to bring their message, very, very warm message of congratulations. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you, the family, for supporting our judge. We continue to ask that you continue to uphold him in prayer and to give him all the support so that he can carry out this onerous task. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Justice. With great humility, allow me to request that you remain on the stage for a small ceremony. The Principal Judge, allow me to request you to join Honorable Chief Justice on the stage. Honorable Chief Justice, 10 judges of the High Court have been elevated to the Court of Appeal, which speaks to really the excellence of the court. And the former registrar, Honorable Lady Justice Judy Omange, is now a judge of the ELC. The principal judge would like to call upon you to recognize 3 of our judges, former judges of the High Court, who are now judges of the Court of Appeal, with a special token of recognition and appreciation. Allow me to recognize most humbly and welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Agri Muchelule to receive a commendation from the Honorable Chief Justice and a plaque that will stand as memorabilia of your outstanding accomplishment in the High Court. Hearty congratulations, my lord.
Honorable Mr. Justice Muchelule, 2009, 2022, as the Judge of the High Court, 13 years of exemplary service of the High Court is a true testimony of your dedication to achieving the High Court's vision, which is to be a model court in the dispute resolution and protection of the rights and liberties.
Thank you very much, my Lord Chief Justice. Allow me to request Honorable Lady Justice Lydia Chode to receive her award from the Chief Justice. My lady. I will also request Honorable Justice Judy Omange. So if we could have you closer to the podium, my lady. Thank you.
The Honorable Lady Justice Rindia Achonde, you were our principal judge of the High Court for 4 years. You were a judge of the High Court between 2011 to 2022. Thank you for your inspirational leadership and great vision for the High Court. We celebrate your dedication to the rule of law and fidelity to the Constitution of Kenya.
Pillar number 3 of the social transformation through access to justice, to have a team of inspired judges and magistrates who are always appreciated. Honorable Lady Justice Judy Omange, Judge of the Environment and Land Court.
Honorable Lady Justice Judith Omange, we want to thank you for your selfless service, dedication, and strong leadership as the Registrar High Court between the year 2012 and 2022. Those are 10 years of your immense contribution to the success of the court. May you continue.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Justice. Thank you, Lady Justice. There is also a token of appreciation to Lady Justice Judy Omange, who shepherded the development of the High Court strategic plan. Thank you very much. Honorable Chief Justice, allow me now to conduct a short session of photographs before we break this ceremony officially, and I will request the family, immediate family of the principal judge, to join the principal judge and the Honorable Chief Justice on the stage for a photo moment. The family, protocol team, please help me in supporting our guests to the stage. Immediate family first, and we will have a picture for extended family and friends. Indeed, it takes an entire community to really shine a light on excellence, phenomenal growth, and development. And we do apologize because of the steps, and next time we will be very, very considerate of the needs of our family and the people who are very dear and beloved for us. So I request the protocol team to please be at the steps to support our beloved family members down the steps, please. Indeed, behind every great leader is an entire community. And I think that recognition is indeed very important, because beyond the walls of the Milimani law courts is a family and a community of people who support the principal judge fully and wholeheartedly. Thank you very much. We congratulate you, and we thank you most sincerely for standing with the judge and for supporting him throughout. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you and God bless you. Nishikilie, nishikilie, nishikilie. A picture with mom as well. We would all do anything to hear what Mom is telling the Honorable Chief Justice, wouldn't we? Thank you so much. What rare and precious moments we have here. Thank you very much. I will now request the Honorable Chief Justice and the PJ to remain where they are, as I invite all emeritus PJs, all PJ emeritus, to join the Chief Justice and the Principal Judge for a picture that we can frame and put on our boardroom Hall of Fame. Thank you very much. With your, my lady and lordships on the stage, my lady, allow me to request you to remain on stage as I welcome the President of the Court of Appeal and all other judges for a picture, all High Court judges to join for that, a final picture with the PJ, judges of the High Court, the President of the Court of Appeal, and the Chief Registrar as well. We will soon be coming to the end of these proceedings, and as my Lord and Lady judges approach the stage, allow me to make a few announcements. In the meantime, the exit procession will be led by the Registrar of the High Court, who will lead out or lead the procession carrying the mace, and the order has already been arranged. We will thereafter have the Honorable Chief Justice, Honorable Judges, and the immediate family of the Principal Judge assemble at the VIP tent other guests are requested to remain in this tent where they will be served with refreshments. I will say that again, the Chief Justice, honorable judges, and immediate family of the principal judge will assemble after this procession. At the VIP tent, other guests are requested to remain seated here where they will be served with refreshments. We have a beautiful formation there for this picture. May I request now all the judges in the dome to join as an extension of this picture. All the judges in the dome, my lord, my lady judges. We love memorializing things in the judiciary because when we look at them later in the future, it gives us material upon which to build our history. So thank you for your patience as we do this very important part of all judiciary ceremonies. That picture is actually absolutely priceless because in front is the maze and the judges and the Chief Justice as the people who defend our Constitution. Thank you very much, my lady Chief Justice. Thank you very much, my lord and lady judges.
President of LSK.
Yes.
With LSK, I've seen senior counsel.
Now that we have this moment with the mace, I will invite the President of the Law Society, the Vice President of the Law Society, Senior Counsel, and members of this LSK bar and advocates who are here with us. I know we have many advocates, so let's have as many of them as possible on the stage, with the exception of our distinguished judges who are also advocates. In order for the scales of justice to balance, the distinguished members who are approaching the stage play a critical role. And we honor, value, and celebrate your continued hard work and commitment to the cause of justice. I continue to thank you for your patience. Again, as we build upon the elements of our history. It is perhaps also befitting to mention that the Chief of Staff is also an advocate, but is happy to organize these proceedings from this side. Thank you very much, brother and sister judges, members of the bar, advocates. Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Justice. We absolutely value this wonderful, wonderful moment. Honorable Chief Justice, we have now come to the end of these proceedings, and to close, I will request the band, the prison band, to play the national anthem. May we be all upstanding. Thank you very much. I will request the registrar, please remain standing as the registrar leads the exit procession with the mace. Band.